Hey, Jessica.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay. I'm still making dinner, so I apologize.
Oh, no worries at all. Where is it where you are?
I am in, I have to think about it for a second, Republic, Missouri.
Okay.
It's 7 o'clock here.
Okay. So you guys are an hour ahead of us.
Where are you?
I'm in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Danielle. Are you in the carpool lane?
There we go.
There
I
you
had
are.
to figure out, I'm on my phone and I don't hardly ever use Zoom on my phone. So I was like, I've got to figure out all the things.
It's different. It's a little different.
It is. It is. And it like starts without video or audio or anything like that. So I'm in it to win it now. Don't worry.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Danielle.
Yay. Ooh. I'm going to take a nap. Well, I'm excited to be on here with you guys.
I know. Are your kids going to be hopping in the car any minute?
We got a few, probably 10.
Yeah.
What was that hot seat call? Who's on that?
It is for like the Superstar Diamonds are doing it for their coaches that get in Success Club. I think it's Holly Hillier and Jen Richardson.
Oh, you know I love her.
I know. They usually record them, so I'll grab it.
Yeah, I would love to see it. The one from Christina Delgado that one month was good too.
Yeah, so yeah, it's Jen Richardson and Holly Hillier. So
Cool.
Yep, I'll grab it and share it with you.
Yeah, I would love to see it. Yes, ma'am. You know, I think one or two of my other coaches is planning on hopping on too. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, who is C. Somers? I'm sorry. Who is that? C. Somers. I don't know anybody named C. Somers.
Is that a new name?
It is. It's like she got married or something.
Oh my God. Is she ignoring us?
No, she can't hear us yet.
Okay.
I bet. Carrie, can you hear us? Hello? I don't know what's happening with her things.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
There you are. I heard you, Carrie.
Well, I'm trying to plug my headphone. I got a new computer from school, and
Whoa.
It's not new, but I just had to get a different one, and I'm trying to plug my headphones in so it doesn't have to listen to them.
Well, I like that it signs you in as C. Somers.
Yep. I got a whole new computer. They gave me a sticker that says C. Summers.
Oh my goodness! And you got a new ring,
bling, bling.
a new last name. It's just you're a whole new woman.
That's right. Hey,
right,
Becky.
Well, oh yay! Becky's hopping on too. Good.
Becky's going to Hawaii for 2 weeks. I'm so jealous.
When are you coming to me, Becky? I can't hear you. What?
October 16th.
No, that's when I'm flying to Virginia.
Yeah.
Summer, what island are you going to?
We're doing Maui and Oahu.
Oh, fun. I live on Oahu, so
Okay.
it's fun. It's rainy here this season, so I'm sure Maui's not quite as bad, but we live in the rainy part. This can be great.
You have to get some ideas, Becky, from Danielle before you head out there. I'm sure she's got some great places to eat.
Eat and fun things to do and good beaches to go to and all kinds of things.
Love it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Becky, are your kids going to, or is it just you and your hubby?
6 adults.
Oh, fun.
Ooh.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we are recording, and we do want to appreciate your time. I know Danielle and I have a new coach call at 8:30, so we wanted to pop in here and just share with you guys talk strategy. September was a tough month, but we are moving on. It's in the past. We've got lots of momentum moving into October. Danielle, I know your kids are going to hop in the car, so I don't know if you want to start or us just chat back and forth. Marketing strategy and inviting. Sorry.
Yeah, no. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's hard. I think there's a delay on my phone. Yeah. So the first thing, and I think it's most important for everybody, and I think even as you get seasoned in this business, it's really hard to, well, I won't say really hard to remember, but it's really important to remember that you've got to have something that you're excited about inviting to. So if you are inviting to a general wellness group or an ongoing thing, it typically becomes white noise to the people who are following you. They just aren't paying attention anymore. And I know we had discussed a lot back and forth at the end of last month about how I said I had this realization that my B100 bootcamp, all of my social media followers had been seeing me participate in that and invite to that for months at that point. They don't care because I don't have the end result photos yet. So it'll be one of those things that at the end of the 100 days, there's going to be another big swell of momentum because, again, my business is based on results. And so, again, that doesn't have to be weight loss results, but it's got to be some kind of visible results. And so, you have to have something important or big to invite to. So for me, that is the Rise and Shine Bootcamp that starts October the 7th. I'm going back to my original marketing strategy that has always worked really, really well for me. And that's that a new bootcamp starts for me every single first Monday of the month. So, and then I try to cut off that enrollment. I mean, obviously, if I haven't hit my goals, I'm not going to cut off enrollment. And if somebody really wants to do it, I'm not going to cut off enrollment. But my big push for inviting for that and my big push on social media is happening right now. So like I had said in my video, that I posted in Quad Squad. And if you haven't watched that, or I know Team Nourished it's in there too. But if you haven't watched that, it's just how I've been kind of changing up the way I'm inviting. And I've got those cards, and that's something I used to use intermittently. But now that I've been using them every other day, I've really, really gotten a good response from them. And it gives people that continuity that they know what's going on in my business. So it's important to make things super easy for the people who are following you to know this is what, like when you reach out to them, they aren't blindsided by the fact that you're inviting to them because you haven't been posting anything on your social media about what you're inviting to. So that's kind of one of those things where I feel like it's been really helpful for the trust factor, that my people know that this is what I'm inviting to because they're seeing it on my stories. But then when I reach out and personally invite them, those two.
Uh-oh. Did she freeze?
Especially like at the end of the month when you're pushing for big goals, but you.
Is she freezing or am I freezing?
But oh no, it's probably me. I'm on an island. Can you hear me? Can somebody
now we can. We kind of got cut off when you were talking about how it all connects together and how people need to know what you're inviting to.
Right.
What you're doing.
So so it's really important, and I feel like that's one of the things that has been laid on my heart a lot about this business, and where I see people where they're really, and where I was really, really, really struggling in this, it's that your social media is not lining up with your invitation. So you are, I was talking to one of my coaches on my team the other day about how, we're doing a social media audit, and it's, if Layla watches this call, she'll know I'm talking about her, but it was softball, wife of a police officer, it's like softball, wife of a police officer, some pictures of her kids, and then she's wondering why her invitations aren't connecting when she's out there inviting people. And, what I shared with her was that you've got to make your social media the people who are watching your social media, it's your message behind the scenes and in front of the scenes has to match up. So if those two things aren't congruent, if you're not living the life and working towards results, nobody is going to trust you. Therefore, no one is going to purchase from you. And that's something that has been really, I feel like, kind of blaring in my head about building that trust level with my followers. So, I think just sharing your journey authentically and going behind the scenes and inviting them to what you're doing is really important.
Danielle, just to touch on something, because some people, like Summer Holmes, she has an amazing transformation and now she's in maintenance mode physically. So what kind of other results do you think people can share on social media?
Well, and that's what, I was talking to Matt, my husband. So he started doing the work, and I talked to him specifically about what, I asked him, he's starting the work. I took his pictures and I said, what's your goal in this? And he said, oh, well, to finish it. And I was like, well, babe, that's not a goal. And I was like, that's a very nice thing for you to do, but that's not a goal that's measurable. And he was like, okay, he's thinking. And then he's like, I really want to feel really strong afterwards. And I'm like, that's not a visibly measurable goal. So even if it doesn't have to be weight loss, you've got to come up with some way to visibly show results. So whether that's, I think of Bree Headley, when she did her 80-day obsession journey, she really doesn't have any real weight to lose, but she's showing definition in her arms. She's showing, the previous lifestyle she was living and the current lifestyle she's living. She's showing the way she used to make a plate of food and the way she's making a plate of food now. She's showing like all of these things, but you've got to be able to translate that from what you think the changes are into what's actually going on, if that makes sense.
Right. No, I love that.
Yeah.
And Becky, that goes back to what you and I were talking about, like what's happening on Monday. Before you joined, we would run a new group we ran the same group, the same Facebook group, and every month we would have a new start date so that people can be joining, they're all joining at the same time. People that are still on their program would continue on that program, but any new people that want to recommit would start on a certain day. And that's what next Monday, somebody's got a laugh. I'm just going to mute you guys for a second. There's a lot of background noise right now. We would invite to people to the beginning of a boot camp, and that's what like the 7th is. I think Emily's making hers the 14th, and it's really, like Danielle said, it could be an ambiguous date if you don't meet your goal, because it's not like we're going to stop inviting on the 6th if we don't have SC10 or whatever our goal is. We're going to continue to invite until we hit our goal. And even then, you're going to continue to invite because you don't want to stop at just 10, but your focus can change a little bit. Because my goal and Danielle's goal is we want to hit our Success Club goal early in the month so that then we can help teams and help you guys meet your goals. And one of the things, Danielle, I know your kids are going to hop in the car, so is there anything else you wanted to pop in real quick? I was going to talk about the mindset piece and making sure that you're focused on not Jen's goals, but on helping other people get their goals.
Yeah, and my kids are about to hop in the car, but I do want to make sure that I touch on that. And I also really want to express, because I know, Jessica, you're a new coach on the team, and so there's a lot of like, well, if they don't join me right now, that means that they won't ever join me. And it's just really important to know that you have to continue to build that credibility and continue to build that trust. And that's where, Jen, I know you're going to come in with us with, committing to your own goal first and owning that goal, showing it off on social media, and then sharing that through the invitation process. And that is the mindset of like, when somebody reaches out and says, hey, Jessica, I'll take you for perfect example. You reached out to me and said, hey, I saw your post about your Rise and Shine boot camp. Can you tell me about that? I don't immediately launch into what the Rise and Shine boot camp is about. I ask you, what are your goals? And then I just, I figure out, sorry, I'm trying to tell my kids to pull up some. I figure out where in the Rise and Shine boot camp your goals will be best served, you know, whether that's the Mindfully Nourished program or the, hey guys, or just the workouts or whatever that is. It helps me make, again, that connective tissue into why this is going to be a good fit for you. Okay, I'm going to mute myself now because it's going to get loud.
I mean, how cool can we do this? It's cool that we can do this business from the carpool line when we have to. Normally her kids get out earlier so that, you know, she doesn't have to juggle all the things, but she's an expert at juggling all the things with the calls. So guys, the big thing, and sometimes, especially at the end of the month, if you haven't met your goals, I mean, I fell into this trap in September because it was a very challenging month, but I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go and moving on. Is that you kind of forget that, yes, your goal might be Success Club and helping 5 people, but there are people out there that need you to help them meet their goals. So as soon as you give it up to God or give it up to the universe or just say, bring me some people to help, once you take it off of you and your goals, your Success Club goals, yes, it's important to have goals and to have, you know, to strive for those, but make sure that when you're sending those invitations out and having those conversations, it's not just to get points on the board, that it truly is about that person. Like Danielle said, like, I never word vomit when people read, and very rarely, we don't have people reach out to us all the time. That's why you have to open your mouth and invite people and share on your stories and those sorts of things. It's very unusual. Like if Jessica reached out to Danielle and just said, hey, I saw it. I happen to have somebody that reached out on my post yesterday about when you change your mama, you change your family. But so often, especially when we're new, the first thing we want to do is give them all the information, but you don't really know what information to give them because you haven't asked the question, what piqued your interest? What goals do you have? So just make sure that when you're having these conversations that you're, you know, asking people and making sure you're getting their goals, because we have so many tools to offer to help people meet their goals. I never go into pricing without getting goals first. But yeah, I'm just checking my notes here because Danielle and I had our success partner call yesterday. Let me just check here. The other question that I got that I wanted to go over with you guys, make sure you have something to invite to. I know, Becky, you're in my group. Jessica, you'll be inviting to Danielle's group. So each month you'll have something to invite to. You also can consider doing like a free group, partnering up with some other coaches once you get started, Jessica, and running a free group, whether it's like a book club group or a clean eating group or a crock pot group, or Danielle's got a great one on mason jar salads, all different things that you can do free groups because you want to make sure you're providing value in your social media as well. And that was a big topic that I had today with Emily. I was like, we all need to make sure, because there's tons of people out there on Instagram and you need to make sure that you're providing value and connecting to people with other things besides Beachbody, besides your workouts. So if I were to go to, you know, Carrie's stories, I'd want to see more than just her workout videos from this morning. You know, I'd want to see, you know, what she's eating, what she's doing outside of life. How is she juggling this with being a teacher, you know, those sorts of things that make Carrie, and providing value, whether that's a fit tip or what, you know, Wednesday wisdom, you know, Thirsty Thursday, how do you get your water in? Why should people drink water? I mean, these are things that we take for granted, guys, but your followers don't. So they want to follow you for value as well. The other thing, 2 things, and Danielle can hop in here too. Carrie, I'm sure you've seen this, but this is called the 100 No's Challenge. And I had forgotten about this, but you guys, if you want to hit Success Club, you need to invite 100 people. And now your next question is going to be like, well, where in the world do I find 100 people? But we are committing on Quad Squad to doing this. So if you guys, I know we haven't decided what the prizes are, but if you complete this sheet by the 10th and take a screenshot and post it in Quad Squad, you will get a prize from your coach, okay? Which that leads us to the next thing. How do I find people to invite? Becky's brand new. In a couple of months, how is she going to find 100 people to invite? So let me get my little list. Where I start inviting first and foremost is from my stories. I go to my Facebook stories and I go to my Instagram stories. Anybody that's watching, they get an invitation. Every month, they get an invitation. Every month, they get a follow-up. Okay, so every month I'm inviting the people that are watching my stories because they're still watching. They're still interested. If they weren't, they would stop watching my stories. Okay, so every month I'm inviting people that are watching my stories on Facebook and Instagram to my Back to Me challenge group, to my Back to Me wellness studio. So I do my stories. I'm starting to do the call to action every other day, like Danielle mentioned. Then I go to my last couple of posts that had anything to do with health and wellness, and I invite those people. I continue to invite people every single month until they tell me, Jen, I'm not interested. Please take me off your list. Never had anybody tell me that. Then I've been doing this for 4 years, so I'll go back to my free groups and I'll invite people from free groups. I'll invite people from the interest groups, because I've had interest groups for 2B Mindset, Live 4, all the new program launches that have come out. We've had all these groups where we provided information, so I invite from there. From there, I'm going to go to my old customers that haven't re-engaged, that need to recommit. And then I start working on my friends list, guys. I start going through the A's, the B's, the C's. My followers on Instagram, the A's, the B's, the C's, okay? And that's a great way when you're going through the A's and you're like, oh, Adam Smith, I have nothing in common. I'm not even going to invite a guy to a challenge group. Let me just unfriend. It's a great way to unfriend people. It's also a great way to start adding people. So between those ways, I would think you should easily be able to come up with 100 no's. Okay, you're not going to stop inviting after 100. You're going to keep doing that because you're going to continue to build momentum, because so many people are going to need our help, guys. Think about what we have coming up: Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Okay, from here on out to the end of the year, I'm going to be offering every single customer that wants to sign up with me a 3-day refresh, because they're going to want it after Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Okay. We also, with QuadSquad, have a 3-day refresh group we could put people in for support. So just kind of keep those things in mind. Danielle, do you have any other people that you typically invite that I missed? I'm sure I missed a big group of people.
Well,
I lost my list.
That's okay. No, I was going to say, like, it's so easy to focus on social media inviting, but a lot of times, I mean, we are real humans outside of social media as well. So I know, Carrie, a lot of the ladies that you work with, you've impacted their lives in a big, big way. And had you not been living this lifestyle outside of just some really pretty pictures on social media, you would not have been able to connect them. So I think it's important to remember those people that are following us in our real life too. You know, the ladies who are in your Bible study, or, oh, honey, hold on. Sorry. That's what my robot vacuum sounds like. Please don't turn it on again. Okay, go unload your thing. I'll be right back down. Sorry. But really focusing on the people that we're living life with too, you know, and I know that it's hard. I think sometimes it's easier to do it on social media because there's the anonymity of the keyboard, you know, if they're not face to face with you. But at the same time, when they're face to face with you, it's undeniable the changes that are going on. So if you are, you know, if your skin is glowing and all of that, and they find that you have more energy, and it's, you know, they reach out to you in that setting too. But you can also not be shy, and you can be bold. And when they say, like, hey, how are things going? It's the same as on social media, where you can express excitement. Like, actually, things are really good. I'm really excited. I've just joined this boot camp group, and like, I'm freaking loving it. And, you know, talk about the things that you're experiencing. Like, yeah, my coach told me I have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get my workout in. And I never thought I could do that, but holy crap, I can. And I feel so much better. And like, I mean, Jen, you know, my line is always the same. Like, be a real human. You don't have to be the robot behind the screen who just sends mass invites. Even in that 100 no's, that 100 no's is not just sitting on Instagram and scrolling a list. That 100 no's are real people. And that's what, sorry, I'm like rushing inside. That's what I always go back to, is I feel like when I am in a slump, and I said this on my video kind of lightly, but I don't feel like emphasize it as much as I probably could have. I feel like when I'm in a slump, it's because I'm focusing on myself and my struggle versus remembering that SC points are people. For 2 SC points you're getting, that's a human being. Hey, buddy. You know, that's a human being that's life needs to be changed. And it always sounds so dramatic, but you know, it is such a big deal what we do. And it's not just
selling somebody a challenge pack and dropping them off and leaving them there. I mean, we're coaches, we're not salespeople. And so that's, I've always said that that's been my favorite part about this, is that it's not a sales job, it's a service job. And your service begins with that transaction, but you've got to put it out there. I mean, I think of like, if a new dentist comes to town, you don't know they exist until they put a flyer in your mailbox, right? I mean, you might see them in passing, and I mean, equate that to social media, right? Like, you might see Jessica's, 1 or 2 posts here and there, but you're kind of not paying attention because everybody is self-involved, and they're scrolling and clicking like without even reading anything. And then, when that invitation or when that message comes and it's like, hey, Andrea, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. Then you start putting those 2 pieces together. And then that's when you invite them and you go, oh, you know what? I have seen your post. Tell me more about that. I feel like that's where so much relationship gets built in this, is that we're able to equate that to human beings rather than, hey, just buy some nice shampoo from me, or hey, just buy these leggings from me. And then we don't ever continue that relationship. So that's.
Oh, she froze again. Okay. Danielle, you froze. But does that make sense? Jessica, I know you're eating. Becky, Carrie, thumbs up. Makes sense. Okay. We do have, while she's frozen, we do have a couple of minutes before our new coach call. Are there questions? Danielle posted in Quad Squad about the storyboards that she is using. And she's using those over and over again. If you look at Courtney Burton, she's using the same ones. I have 2 that I'm using right now. I think I'm going to make a 3rd one. I love how Danielle videoed all the food options that we have and all the access to the recipes and meal plans. I think that's really, really powerful, because that's what people ask me about all the time is, are there meal plans, all their recipes, are they easy? So I think I'm going to showcase that in my next storyboards. But I know I use Canva to make my storyboards. Danielle, what app do you use to make the storyboards like you did for your call to action for your challenge group?
I've been telling everyone I'm using WordSwag and Unfold, because those are free ones.
Mm-hmm.
And Canva can do the same thing as those, but really I'm using paid apps. And I don't want people to have to feel like they need to buy a paid app to make them. I just prefer the control in the graphic designer of me. So I use an app called Over, Over, and then I use an app called Mojo. And Mojo has some free services. Over does not. Over is a paid. It's like InDesign or Photoshop for a phone. So.
And I use Canva, and I use the free version. And you can actually create. The thing I love about Canva is that you can create them on your laptop, where to me it's easier to create and then download them to your phone through the Canva app on your phone. So that's, Becky, I sent you the ones that I've been using so you can tweak them, but those are through Canva. I don't know if Canva allows you to do video or not. I'll have to play with that. Danielle, does it? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I know Unfold does, and I know even the free version of Mojo does do video.
Okay. Yeah, I've used Unfold too. I like that one as well. And they're free. Yeah. But the thing I like about using those instead of just randomly putting things up is that it looks more professional. It looks more consistent. It's more eye-catching instead of just putting up a bunch of different stuff. And then sometimes I'll talk people through all those things that are still on my storyboards so that they're not just seeing the visuals, but then like tomorrow I might do one where I'm talking and telling them with excitement, that time's coming up for my challenge group, and I talk about the same things that are in the storyboards. So
the other thing real quick that I was going to say before we need to hop off for the new coach call, but is when you're inviting, don't be afraid to use the voice app. Or not the voice app, but the voice messenger, because I think, and again, that's something that I know to do, but sometimes I just get in that mode where I'm inviting and nothing's happening, and I forget that there's little tips and tricks like that. And using that voice, like you said something about I'm going to share it with excitement. Well, if you're not into stories yet, I know Jessica was saying she doesn't do stories yet. Leave a voice message on their messenger, or, and again, I go back to be a real human. So if you talk to your cousin Susie through texting constantly, don't be a weirdo and go to Facebook Messenger and message her, because that's where inviting happens. Text them. Like, if you talk to whoever on the phone, call them and say, like, hey, I know this is weird and you probably like had no clue this was coming, but I, just started this boot camp. I'm really excited. I'm really looking for 3 people to join in with me. But using your voice changes so much, because like you said, they can hear that excitement in you. And it's not just these placard cards that are going up, or even, the Instagram stories. If you're making them at 5 a.m. before your kids get up, I mean, you're like, your eyes are still glassed over and you're just not all the way there yet,
Yeah, don't invite without energized.
Right. Ever.
And some mom prep karaoke or something, or some karaoke.
Right.
But yeah,
Get your energy up.
Yeah, get your energy up. But that's what Jolie does. I mean, she's one of the top coaches on our team, shooting for 10 or 11 star for the end of the year, which is amazing. As soon as somebody asks questions and as soon as they show interest, she takes it to voice so they can hear her excitement. She'll hop on the phone so they can see her eyes, because we're people. We need that human connection. And that's what makes it a little bit more challenging with social media, is that, like Danielle, you heard her say, trust, trust, trust. You get somebody on the phone or you get somebody on a call like this where they can see your eyes and your excitement, and I'm sure your close rate, which I hate to say it that way, is going to be much higher, because people want that human connection. They want to be able to talk to you, to hear your voice, hear your excitement, see your eyes, those sorts of things. So don't be afraid of the phone and Zoom.
Well, and I think it's bearing repeating, because the 100 no's, it sounds intimidating, but at the same time, like, if you are going with the intention to get a no, to get somebody to not respond, hold on just a moment. Yeah, you can have it. Then it's more about not caring necessarily. And I know that it's so funny, because it's like, you need to care about the outcome and care about the person, but don't care about the outcome. But I just remember how hung up I would get on people when they would tell me no, or they would ghost me, and I would think it's all about me and it's got to be me. What am I doing wrong? I'm not sharing well enough. Maybe they saw the Shakeology on my cup on my photo, and maybe they, they just don't like me and now they're never going to talk to me. And I would have all of these negative thoughts going in my head every time someone would say no, or every time somebody would not respond in the way that I wanted them to. And when I started being able to detach from their answer and just put it out there because I'm excited, I feel like the 100 no's is so much more doable. You're able to just do them without expectation of like, well, this is, every single one of these 100 people is going to tell me yes. Like, no, they're not. We all know that. The majority of the people are going to tell you no. But I was talking to another coach earlier this morning, and the thing that separates the people that do well in this and the people that don't do well in this is how long it takes them to rebound after you get a no, or how long it takes you to rebound after your husband says, that's dumb, you shouldn't be doing that, or after your cousin, oh, I heard a Beachbody, they suck. I watch so many coaches get defeated by those early negative thoughts or negative responses that they never even get to take their feet off the ground, because they got so caught up in just the initial not understanding of what's going on. So hang in there and keep inviting, and get something, like you said, that you're excited to invite to, and then just share it once a day, every day, on a main post, and then through stories. So.
Alrighty, great way to wrap it up. Any questions, guys? Yeah, and I've gotten 4 hard no's today. It's like Danielle said, I've heard of Beachbody, I've tried it. It didn't work for me, and I'm battling the objections. I'm like, well, how long ago did you do it? We partnered up with a coach. We're in an accountability group. Do we have our detailed nutrition plans? I just kind of keep, because there's good coaches and there's bad coaches, guys, just like there's good teachers and bad teachers, and good doctors and bad doctors. So I don't want people to leave without being fully informed of that things could be different. So so don't make this big and scary. It's really not. Just detach, like she said, from the outcome of the no or the yes. So any questions? Yes. Becky, Jessica, I'm so glad you're on. Sorry you're having to eat, but I appreciate you being on it.
Sorry I'm not more involved. My kids are crazy.
Yep. happy that you're on. It's kind of nice that you can absorb energy with your kids being crazy around you.
I'm trying.
Becky, I'm so excited to see you on and so excited for your trip to Hawaii. That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I need to find a way to get out there to see Danielle.
Obviously, buy a plane ticket. Come on. Come on. I have a lovely space for you to sleep.
I know. Zoe's all ready. All right.
Well, Becky, for real though, message me if you don't already have like specific plans laid out for Oahu, and I'm happy to make recommendations.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know who all is staying on, but this is the same line
For the new coach call.
for the new coach call. You are welcome. Hey, Skylar. Hey, Linda. I'm glad you guys are hopping on. Good. Yay, hooray, hooray. So you guys caught the end of the Quad Squad call. Sorry, I'm trying to close up. I tried to switch from my phone to my computer, and it's all a hot mess.
I'm gonna
Hi,
hop off
Carrie.
and
Hi,
do
Mrs.
some
Stomers.
wine.
Makes me so happy. I get to see Carrie in like 2 weeks. I'm so excited.
Yay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started with a new coach call then. I don't know if you want to stop recording, Jen, or you can keep recording. It really doesn't
Yep, I'll
matter.
stop. Yep.